You know, while I've been covering the NBA, I've got to say Russ has been one of my favorite guys to listen to and talk about because he is always like this, and that's not a problem. I enjoy it personally. There's no filter to what he's going to say. You don't know what you're going to hear from Russ. If you pissed him off, trust me, he will let you know, right? And I actually really appreciate that. Some guys can be kind of fake. Some guys can maybe not say certain things because they don't want to get on the bad side of the fence, or maybe not on the bad side of XYZ, maybe not get fined, whatever it is. But Russ doesn't typically care much about that. And I actually appreciate that. You know, it's refreshing. And so I said all that to say we've got Russ going at reporters here. So we're going to watch a good bit of this video. I don't know if we'll watch the full thing, but a good bit of it. There also is a bit of a direct call out here, and the person that he is talking to actually took it upon himself to respond. However, said person is also getting blasted because when called about it in this moment, they didn't have a response, right? They waited until they got home, which, to be honest, yeah, it would have been better if they did it, but I don't know if that's the best thing to do because, you know, it's maybe not the best thing in that moment to call out so-and-so player because XYZ and get into a heated exchange or anything like that. It's maybe not the best, right? But regardless, though, it's fun to talk about. It's fun to watch unfold. So hopefully you enjoy this video. Make sure that thumbs up and subscribe here to the Basketball Bulletin. My name is Donnie Freeman, the co-host. We're here on the channel. It's been pretty fun to cover, like I said. Trevor and I keep you guys informed. So again, make sure that you do stay locked in, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. Was Russ right? Should he have handled this differently? And how do you feel about Matt George? Let me know. All right, let's go ahead and watch this here to get things started.
All right. You know, 19 games left now. Like, just kind of what's the focus like as you guys close this out? You have 50 losses tonight, and you know, you're kind of doing some things, developing young guys and stuff. Like, what can be accomplished like in these last 19 games?
You know, go out, compete. This is the game. You professionally go out and play. That's all you can do. Which I think, though, because y'all got a lot of answers and y'all always be talking.
No, I got no answers, buddy.
Oh, it's very interesting. Y'all don't got no. You guys have a lot of opinions about how we do what we doing. What you got? No, you. Yeah, you make a lot of statements and broad statements that you have no context. So, where do you get your context from? Are you in practice?
No.
Are you at our film session?
No.
Are you anywhere around the building?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen that practice.
Not inside the practice.
So the false context of, and actually, do you know me?
I know you.
No, you don't know me.
Well, not you personally.
You don't know me. You don't know me. But you make a lot of comments as though you do know me.
I'm commenting about your basketball.
God damn. I've got to say, it kind of feels like, and I don't know the context, ironically, right? I know with what he's saying. I don't know the context specifically as to why he wanted to single out. I'm guessing that's Matt George he's talking to here. Maybe he said something recently, you know. But if you ever thought these guys aren't aware of the things that are said about them, they know, right? They always know. They may not know what random X account is saying, excuse me, but they know what the national guys are saying. They know what the beat reporters are saying, what's being printed about them or posted online about them. They understand. They know that stuff. And so this almost came off, just hearing it here, this almost comes off as a little bit premeditated because Russ already, maybe he said something, right, that Russ did not like. And so he took this opportunity to say, actually, what about you? Are you around me? You around the team? You around SCOC? You have no context, but you like making broad statements, right? And I think that's pretty interesting, right? Because that's how a lot of coverage is, right? It's so hard. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't be allowed to have an opinion if you're not in those direct spaces? No, I don't think that. An opinion is an opinion, right? But I also think he has a point here that it's maybe not fair to write those things as fact if you don't know beyond a shadow of a doubt, right? If that is literally a fact or not. Maybe you heard something through the grapevine. Maybe you got this one inkling because you passed so-and-so and you heard this or that, or maybe this person rubbed you the wrong way and you talk about these things as their fact, and I don't think that's fair. But it is absolutely hilarious how Russ did this, though.
No, you know, my intent, I see it. But I'm asking you now, but you don't know me, right? So you don't know anything about me.
Not you personally, no.
Thank you. That's good. Anybody else? You guys have any comments about how we play, what we doing? You guys are quiet today, but you guys have a lot of comments when the game's going on. After the game, what we doing, what we should be doing, how we should be doing it. I'm confused. Oh, let me hear it. You must have been in our film session too.
I'm not in your film session, but you guys have the worst record in the NBA.
Cool.
You guys are like in bottom 3 in offense and defense throughout the year.
Perfect.
So, I mean, I think that's fair to,
What's fair?
it's fair to point that out.
Yeah, that's been pointed out, but that's not the only thing that's been talked about. What else is to point out?
Well, I can only speak for myself.
Yeah, but that's not the only thing you say. I've seen things you say. It's not just about our offense and our defense and what our record is. We've been the worst record for a long time now.
What have I said?
I don't want to go down the round, but I mean, we can, I'm asking you, you have a lot of things to say. So this is your time, this is the floor to say it.
Any questions?
Feels a little gaslighty to ask that
I mean,
question.
this is the time.
I just think in sports when
It's the time.
teams don't have success,
Right.
they're up. for
You
this.
think that we should have success, right? Do you feel that way?
That
I mean,
you
a lot of you
should
guys
have
feel,
success?
huh?
That you should have success?
Yeah.
I think you guys are trying to have success, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good. What about you? What you think?
I think it's been a rough year for everybody.
Yeah?
And I mean, as somebody who's covered the league for a long time and this team
Yeah.
for a long time, this is by far the worst season I've seen.
Yeah?
And I don't blame you for that
No, listen, I don't think nobody's blaming me. I'm just saying.
or any of the players.
What I don't like is that I've been in the league a long time and I've been around a lot of different organizations, media, beat writers, and we have a lot of young guys on this team, a lot of guys that don't know what's happening or what's around, whether it's from the coaching, from the players. You guys' job is to talk about the game, what's happening in the game, not stir up a bunch of, I don't want to cuss here because I want to get fined, but stir up a bunch of stuff that it's not accurate. And that's my problem. Like being in the league a while, I've been able to experience a lot of these times where people outside of our building, or outside of the film session, outside of what we do daily, how much work we put in. That is not an easy job to do. It's not an easy job to do. And I think the respect level is that we respect y'all, we respect what y'all do. Y'all come in, y'all make y'all comments, and nobody say nothing. But I don't have to sit back and not say nothing. I've been the media's, that's been my thing and been on the road. But as a leader of this team, it's my job to speak up for the guys in the locker room. We talk about it, they see it. I hear it. Because of the comments you guys make, you got guys thinking about a whole bunch of random things that have nothing to do with the game. You guys are making false comments about our team and what we're doing here, and I don't appreciate that. So my ask is that you respect what we do and we respect what you do.
Jeremiah?
Let me ask you this, is this something different that you've been seeing throughout your career, as far as media coverage?
No, not for me. No, I've seen much worse, but it's not about me, it's about our team. So I'm talking about our team and our group of guys, the organization. I wasn't, I came here a little late, but I feel like you guys expect us that we're gonna win the championship. The way the conversation and how we talking is like, yeah, you guys, we don't win the championship, it's like it's a bust or something. And that's not the case. This is our job. Like y'all have your job, y'all go to work. It'd be great if we can critique y'all, but we don't. We have our job, we come do our job the best way we know how to. Wins, losses, all a part of the game. And after that, we go home. Y'all go home to see our families, we go home to see our families, and that's that. But don't make false context comments about people as individuals, people who they are, what they do, what they're thinking, why they're doing this, how come they're doing that. If you don't know, don't say nothing you don't know nothing about. And that's particularly for you.
Jeremiah?
Russ, I think in Sacramento.
I can't. He is perfectly right in everything he said. I think that's where this happens all throughout, right? And there are sometimes we kind of think about certain topics that have kind of come out and like, nah, we don't really want to talk about that. That's controversial, XYZ. Not that we don't like talking about controversial stuff or we shy away from it, but sometimes it's like some stuff doesn't really feel right to cover. And it oftentimes are these think pieces about the mindset of a player, etc. Like you don't know this stuff. You don't know what this person is dealing with or how your comments could, because they make so much money. It's hard to not see them as much, as humans, but they are humans, right? Especially, I liked how he was trying to say from the perspective of, hey, for me, This is something I've always seen. I've dealt with much worse. This isn't that big of a deal to me. But for these younger guys that don't know nothing, that haven't been in this situation before, you've got them thinking about things that have nothing to do with the game. And I really like trying to read between the lines there. I can understand how that could be hard for a new player, a young prospect that just got into the league, etc. Somebody that's just trying to work on their game every day, develop and grow. And I really did actually like that and appreciate, like, again, the way he goes about it. It's funny to me just a little bit, but his comment, his sentiment, it's not lost on me, and I 100% agree with that. I do think that sometimes it does get out of bounds, right? But at the same time, he's right that their job is to do that. But unfortunately, in today's world, with the way the media coverage is and the way all this stuff is between social media, etc., if you're not generating a clickable quotes headline, then your piece is not going to get seen. It's not going to get the recognition it may or may not deserve. And so as somebody in this industry, you may have to do certain things that you're not as happy about. You may have to position yourself differently. You may have to position or package your content in a way where, you know, it has to hit on certain things to get talked about, right? Like oftentimes we see LeBron, for example, his name is thrown in stuff I ain't got nothing to do with. Shit, I just did it. You know, like, well, it's 11 minutes in the video. Ain't nobody watched this video for that. But if I were to title this video about him and this and that, and, you know, that would be an entirely different thing, right? That's just one of many examples I can make. So that's something that does also kind of happen, but it is really unfortunate. And Trevor and I have talked a lot about the way that the league is covered before in the past. That's why I wasn't all that particularly upset when the NBA show with Chuck and all those guys got canceled initially. That's also why I'm not all that upset that they're not on all that often either. Like, I don't really care for that group because I didn't think they were adding much to the game aside from entertainment value. I didn't think they were really analyzing the game, and I really appreciate the analysis we're getting from some of these newer networks like Amazon trying to cover the league differently. And I really thought that was something that was missing from our game. And I still don't really appreciate the way ESPN with their talk shows, you know, cover the league and all this stuff. I think sometimes, again, it can blur the lines between, are you actually trying to talk about the game or are we talking about other things separate? Like, I don't know why. Like, for example, Stephen A's whole thing on Zion the other day, it was hilarious, don't get me wrong, but he was saying, you know, he's a food addict, this and that. There's not a single person in that town that don't know his name. But when he's coming, you got to hide the food, this and that. Then the Pelicans shoot back. Then he shoots back on the Pelicans, talking about he's more famous than their entire Italy. What are we doing? What are we doing? This is not about basketball, right? The names associated are about basketball, but this is not basketball. And so I don't really, you know, again, the entertainment value is one thing, but I don't really, like, I understand where Russ is coming from, right? And if again, I didn't get the context, it's kind of hard to dig it up, but if he felt like Matt George said something specifically about somebody on this organization or himself that he was needing to defend, then I can understand that. So we're going to actually shoot over to Matt George's response to this. He did have a response, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up here. But again, like I said, let me know in the comments down below how you feel about some of that stuff. I am not at all opposed to Russ or his approach to this because this is categorically how Russ is. It just is how he is, but I appreciate the message for sure. All right, let's go.
Again, if y'all listening want to be critical and want to say, Matt, you could have said it to his face right then and there, you're right. I could have. I chose not to in the moment because I didn't think it would be beneficial. And I then went home and addressed everything on the podcast calmly because I thought that would be the best way to handle this situation and to handle things as professionally as possible. I'm not perfect, and we'll see where it goes from here. I hope I get the opportunity to talk to Russ. If I don't, and we continue on this, I stand by all the things that I said. I stand by what I've said repeatedly, that I hope Russell Westbrook is not on this team next year, not because I hate Russell Westbrook, but because I don't think Russell Westbrook is the right point guard for this god-awful team that in my mind is the worst Kings team in history. And it's crazy to say that with a roster featuring guys like Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan. Again, if y'all listening want to be critical.
Well, if that's the context, Russ heard him say that, or maybe he said many things he said he has, but sure. I mean, that's his opinion. That's his opinion. Like I said, I don't really think it's critical, but I don't think anything like that is blurring the lines like I was talking about there. I mean, if he feels like this is the worst team ever and it shouldn't be because they've got these names on it, then that's fine. That's his opinion. If he feels like Russ shouldn't be back, that's fine. That's his opinion. I mean, I'm sure you can maybe back that up if we're being honest. I think Russ has been good for them, but that's a low bar considering how bad this team is, right? It is what it is. I think this team, I rip on them all the time. And it's because I'm from Sacramento. Like I understand the frustration with the organization. And so, I would love to see this team be successful, right? And I don't think he said anything critical, crazy here or anything like that. So, but ultimately, though, he did kind of say what I said in the beginning where, yeah, I know the entire internet wants to see him say it, and it's all, oh, you had a chance. You should have, like, here's King's Muse. And, of course, the Russ stands also have their comments saying something similar. See, this is what Russ is talking about. There was an opportunity to talk about it at the presser, and nothing was said. Now it's away from my podcast where I do my tell-all, quote-unquote. You're supposed to be a media member, not a YouTube clickbaiter. Ouch. Ouch. That didn't show up, my bad, but I had the quote, so whatever. Ouch. What did I do? Anyway, I think maybe he handled it the right way. I mean, I can understand that perspective for sure. And I'm sure Russ would have appreciated that, but it may not. He said himself, he thought it was more beneficial to handle it as the quote unquote bigger man, is the way I'll kind of summarize what he said there. So I don't really have much of a problem with that. I don't know that that's something to dunk on him for, but he did have that opportunity and he didn't take it. And everybody will feel different about that, but it is what it is. But that's why at this point, I want to open the floor to you. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the Russell Westbrook comments, about media, etc., covering the team. Was he in the right? Was he in the wrong? Was the approach good? Not? Let me know. All that fun stuff, and I'll see you all in the next video.